Countdown is on to one of the two highly anticipated off-cycle governorship elections in Nigeria this year. Edo State takes center stage on the 21st of September, where 17 political parties will vie for the top spot, featuring 16 male candidates and a single female contender. We're looking at 2,629,025 registered voters who will determine the fate of the state, according to INEC. But are the critical stakeholders, including the electoral umpire, fully prepared for the task ahead? That's one big question on the countdown. Joining me in the first half of the show is constitutional lawyer and former Commissioner for Information, Andrew Aranta. Mr. Aranta, thank you for joining us on the program this evening.
Yeah, good evening, Nifemi. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you as well. So Edo has witnessed significant political realignments in the lead up to this election. Familiar faces switching parties multiple times, including yourself, Mr. Aranta. Some new entrants also emerged on the PDP and Labour Party tickets. What's your thoughts on the political landscape ahead of this election?
I think so far the political landscape looks really busy, because the two major political parties of the PDP, Labour Party, and the APC have started their campaign in earnest. And I'll prefer to comment on the APC, which I'm a member of. We've done our three senatorial rallies in Edo South, North, and Central. And at the moment, we are doing the word-to-word campaign. We've covered the entire Edo Central for the word-to-word campaign. We are currently in Edo South. And I think other political parties are also having their campaigns. Some have even taken their campaigns abroad. Recently, the PDP candidate was in America, and I hear that the Labour Party candidate will also follow. And remember, we did that long ago, even before we started, our, senatorial and, word-to-word campaigns. But I think Edo people will be able to make a very clear choice, and it appears to...
Sir Aranta, what's happening in America? Have you guys started getting...
It will be a three-horse race,
Yes. Have you started getting people in diaspora to vote? What are your people doing in America?
I think it's interesting because when one particular person visits America, others want to do the same. I mean, of the three major political parties, and I must admit that our diaspora population have some level of influence because of diaspora remittances. In 2020, they had a very huge role to play in the election in advising their people back home who they found in terms of support, to vote in a particular way. I think our diaspora people are very active, much as they may not have their PVCs to vote. Even some of them come home to vote. Some of them have PVCs. And it will surprise you that over 10 to 15% of our diaspora people usually come back home to vote.
Let's talk about your party for a minute. Oshiomole has finally reunited with the reinstated deputy governor, which is largely being debated depending on who you are talking to. But there are still reports of internal divisions within your party. They say the APC did not fully recover after that primary election, where you yourself even threatened to resign. No, actually, you resigned. That's what the paper said at the time. Some members are still opposing the choice of your party's candidate. How do you plan to unite the party? Or is there even still enough time to make that happen? Because we are hearing of an APC integrity group that has now shown its support to the candidate of the People's Democratic Party.
I think I'll take it in three levels. I'll start first with the last. I mean, you mentioned one APC integrity group. That's a faceless organization. The organization appears to be a single-man organization. Because the person is a relation, Emmanuel Odigi, I would not want to comment on that because I try to draw the line between family and politics. He has been blowing hot air. The party has, the PDP has denied him. AP has suspended him. So I won't want to comment about, because when you call a group integrity and the people there don't have integrity, that's very deceptive. Then talking about the issue of, if I resign. Yes, there was a time I was not too happy the way the primaries was going. I threatened that I would resign. I even issued a quit notice that I will leave the party. But I think things were not done the right way. The primaries were done the proper way, and the outcome was acceptable by everybody. And with that, of course, whatever grievances some of us had, was taken care of by the party's leadership. In terms of asking which party has division, you look at the number of litigations. Initially, APC had 1 or 2 persons who were aggrieved, but 1 or 2 of those litigations that went to court through reconciliation were withdrawn. PDP as a party, they have over 7 litigations because I'm a lawyer in, I think, a couple of those cases. And the Labour Party has about 3 litigations. So far, there have been 3 decisions against the PDP candidates, though these matters are on appeal. And you have others both at the lower level and at the appellate level. So for APC, we have a clean slate, no litigation. PDP has about 7, Labour Party has about 3. So if you talk of a party that is united, I think you are referring to the APC, my party.
So, but the PDP, you cannot also easily wish away, same as
then, sorry, you also asked a question about Oshiomole and Shaibu's reconciliation.
No.
Yes. The
I didn't ask a question.
Son relationship, and they are back.
I just ran a commentary about seeing them together again. Time will tell whether they're actually really united, seeing what has happened in the time past. But the PDP has gained significant ground in Edo State. They have an incumbent governor. Many analysts are predicting a tight race. I'm wondering what makes you confident that the APC will emerge victorious, and what message is your party really passing? For instance, some have said, we haven't seen your candidate have a sit-down, exclusive interview. Personally, I've been trying to chase him on this program. Maybe you'll help us get him. What message is your party sending across at this time?
The call has always been there for us to have a homegrown candidate, not somebody who has lived all his life outside of Edo State, who cannot even spend a night in his community, who comes using an interpreter to talk to the people. I can dare say that the APC candidate is a homeboy. He's somebody that understands the plight of his people. He has connected with the developmental needs of the people of not just Edo Central where he comes from, because he has intervened in a whole lot of social welfare, things like when they had the security, problem there, he donated vehicles, he gave them money. Because for me, I think politics is all about development. And I think that's exactly what he's doing. That was why last year his own people elected him. Before that time, it was the PDP that was in total control of the entire Edo Central. We've never won elections there. APC has never won elections there since 1999. So for the very first time last year, Senator Monday Okpebholo became a game changer. He defeated a sitting senator to become the first APC, federal lawmaker as a senator in the senatorial district. So I think that's a winning streak that he's coming to this election with. The 2 persons he is going to be contending with from the PDP and the other person in the Labour Party, they have never won any regular election. My friend Akpata won MBA election, but you don't compare association politics with real politics. And coming back to what I think Edo people are looking out for, they are looking out for a party that will give them a lease of life. When it rains in Benin City, you need a flying boat to move around. The educational sector is in a mess. The health sector, the only standing ultra-modern hospital we have in Edo State as we speak was the one built by Comrade Adams Oshiomole over 8 years ago. So the people are in need of redevelopment. And when you look at the 5-point agenda of the APC candidate, he offers a better deal. The PDP has failed woefully in Edo State, and Edo people are yearning for change. And that's why Monday Okpebholo comes in as somebody that will bring redevelopment to the people.
He actually will be contesting against 16 other candidates. Perhaps you were referring to those you consider the front runners in this election, but that's also highly subjective. Your party, amazingly, has been accused of attempting to compromise the electoral process by pressuring INEC to abandon the use of BVAS. It's something you could just laugh off, right? But as a former commissioner and party stakeholder, do you deny these allegations? And what steps is the APC taking to ensure a free and fair election?
Nothing can be further from the truth. It's not fair to say what is the APC doing to ensure free and fair election, because first, the APC is not the electoral body. INEC is by law expected to be an independent body. So I think what we will ask is that a level playing field should be given to all political parties to have access, as they go about campaigning. And the APC, my party, has complained that Obaseki has refused political parties' use of certain public facilities, whereas they are the ones that now claim that these are public facilities that cannot be used for campaigns, but they also use the same facilities, isolating others. When Oshiomole was governor of Edo State, he allowed PDP to use the stadium when Jonathan came campaigning. So I think political parties, irrespective of whether the party controls the state government or the federal government, should always extend that sense of belonging to their opponents. So we are calling on Obaseki to realize that he's not one of the persons contesting this election. He should not deprive APC the use of every or any public facility, because it's built by taxpayers' money and it cannot lay claim of those facilities. Political parties should be allowed the use of public spaces.
I understand your position as to the role of INEC in a free and fair election. But, election, they say, is all-encompassing. It includes what happens long before the exercise itself and aftermath. What is your party's commitment to a peaceful process? Because someone like the former governor has been accused of making certain utterances on campaign grounds that some have called a little bit allegations of bigotry and ethnic profiling in that regard. Is there a concern within your party as regards these allegations? And what is the APC's commitment in this regard?
Yeah, thank you. You may ask me if the kind of comments, those like the former governor, Oshiomole, even the governor of Edo State, there was a time he said, Nigeria will burn. So they make certain statements, but we expect everybody to offer some level of leadership, particularly those who are serving as governors. And I think what Comrade Oshiomole said, for me, there's no problem with making certain statements that are not incendiary. He said something about the PDP candidates not relating with his people at home. He has never slept in the community where he comes from, Ewohimi, which is a matter of fact. He goes to his community with the aid of an interpreter. He cannot even speak the local language. I mean, these are issues of fact. They are matters of fact. So I don't think he has said anything untoward or anything that one can say, is trying to create tension. No. Unlike the governor who said Nigeria will burn. And why did he make that statement? The orderly of the APC candidate was killed by agents of the Edo State government because the deputy governor and the candidate arrived the airport in Benin from Abuja. On their way out, They were attacked, ambushed. So we expect the police to come up with their report. So the problem of political violence is one issue I think the federal government must deal with. All our security agencies, the police, the DSS, must rise up to the occasion.
That's our time. I'm actually referring to the comments he made as regards the mother of one of Ighodalo's director of campaign strategy. But I'll probably raise that with Mr. Oshiomole if we get an exclusive with him before the election. Thank you so much for your contribution. Constitutional lawyer and former commissioner for information in Edo State, Andrew Rata. Good to have you on the show again.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure being here this evening.
Absolutely.